audio? How's my audio? We're reviewing this clip from Jubilee. Yeah, Jubilee. The title is "Do All Muslims Think the Same?" We just got a new member. James is a new member. Thank you so much, James. That's very sweet. Thank you so much for your support, sir. Oh, Susanna's here. Hi, Susanna, our CEO. GV is here. Soha is here. Great, guys. If you're watching this um later, uh, please consider not just subscribing, but subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you could join us live. So when we discuss these videos together, I could highlight your comments and I could do like interaction with you guys and be like reading your comments and you guys give me feedback. I'll tell you what I think. You guys tell me what you think. You could tell me, Armin, you're wrong, blah blah blah. All right. Well, hi, everyone. And again, if you're a member, I'll try to make sure that I pay attention to highlight your comment and read your comment as well. Anyways, let's get into this.
Believing men and believing women, same level.
No, disagreed. I have in the court of law, the Quran explicitly states two female witnesses carry the weight of one male, and that's why
I like this guy already.
Over there.
All right, I'm guessing. Okay, so these are not just Muslims. All right, let me give you my first impressions before we get into this. Okay, you guys tell me what you think. Okay, thank you for confirming that the audio is okay, guys. Ethan is here. Lee Spainer is here. Thank you guys for being members. I appreciate that. All right, my impression is that whatever we're gonna see here is not gonna be a good representation at all of what Muslims think. This is going to be a somewhat better representation of what American Muslims think. And what American Muslims think is very, very, very different from what the average Muslim thinks, okay? I assume there's going to be some level of agreement on most things, and it's going to be representing a more westernized, liberal, moderate version of Islam, which is still going to be conservative based on our standards. We'll see. So you guys saw, right? Like, you guys understand what's happening? They're going to be asking them questions, and they have to go and stand. If they strongly disagree, they stand here. If they agree, they stand here. If they somewhat disagree here, blah blah blah, and they go strongly agree, they stand all the way to the right. We invited 6 Muslims to see the range of their beliefs and values. I could already see, with okay, I'm stereotyping. Okay, I know I am, but I think it's fair. It's much easier to see what Muslim women think than what Muslim men think, because based on what they're wearing, you can guess. Muslim men, you have to ask them a lot of questions to be like, okay, but Muslim women, I can guess where you stand based on what you're wearing. Oh wow, Batul is saying your assumptions are very accurate. Thank you, Batul. Ethan, you cheated. I watched this video earlier. Don't tell us. No spoilers.
I pray 5 times.
Okay, 5 times a day. Okay, it's hard to be honest about this. I think. Okay, do they pray 5 times a day? Okay, I think they might. A lot of them might, but that doesn't. They're not going to be a good representation of what average Muslim what American Muslims would do. Because if you said yes, I'm going to come represent Islam to a show like Jubilee, you're probably a little bit more Muslim than the average Muslim. I like this girl's outfit. Okay, so how many of them are going to be like, I pray 5 times a day? I think at least half of them, the hijabi ones for sure. These 3 hijabi, like 1, 2, 3, all these 3 hijabi women, they're going to be praying 5 times a day. The non-hijabi Muslim women, right there, she probably doesn't pray 5 times a day. That guy with the beard, his beard is not Islamic. His beard is too nice. It's very trimmed and proper. It's not like if you want to be a proper like fundamentalist Muslim, your beard has to like go in all sorts of directions. Okay, so I think he's being more fashionable with his beard rather than Islamic. So I don't know if he prays 5 times a day. This guy in the white shirt, I have no idea either. I'm just gonna say with the three hijabi women, they probably pray 5 times a day.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. There you go. Three hijabi women pray 5 times a day. Non-hijabi woman doesn't pray. These two dudes look. Wow, look at the woman leading the men. Hey. Oh, what happened? Hey, she said some would disagree and then some would agree. Do you pray or do you not pray? Are you just not praying and you're shy? You don't want to admit it? Like, look, she said somewhat disagree, and she was like, and then I think like, oh my god, this is embarrassing. Everybody here prays. I don't even pray. Okay, I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna lie. I'm sorry.
I wish I was there with you guys. Like it's honestly, it just gets really hard. Like it's just
How is it hard? Okay, guys. All right, this is what I don't understand. These people literally believe in heaven and hell, and they're like, I want to pray. I know it's a sin. I know I'm gonna burn for it if I don't, but I'm tired. Come on, like few thousands years of burning in hell, waking up early in the morning. I don't know which one is worse. Like, do these people actually believe what they believe?
Today it's like spread throughout the day. We all live like.
Wait, what did you say? What's his excuse? Come on, let's see your dumb excuse.
I wish I was there with you guys. Like it's honestly, it just gets really hard. Like it's just 5 times a day. And it's like spread throughout the day. We all live like young professional lives.
Young professional lives? Are you serious? Okay, here's the thing. Dunya versus akhirat. Okay, these people are not like. Okay, so you're like professional life. So you do your work like to get money and go home and like have a career, right? But you literally believe that this life is like a small, like tiny. It's like half of a second compared to your life in the here in heaven or hell, right? So given that the akhirat, which is the afterlife, matters so much more, like you're like, oh yeah, you're working, like you have a professional life. So which one is harder? Like doing your career and going to work, getting up early in the morning, getting ready. That's a lot more work compared to the 5 times a day praying, which doesn't take that much. So it's not that you're lazy because you are already doing work that goes into doing, that is going into the reward that you see in this life. You see, like when I work for my career, you see the reward in front of you, and you're doing a lot more work to do all of that, but you're not doing the very little amount of prayer that you need to do to get a lot more reward in your afterlife. So it can't be because it's hard, because you're already doing more work for lesser reward. Is it that you don't really, is the whole afterlife thing is just not, that concept is like maybe a little bit, maybe you don't guys really believe, you know what I mean? Because if you actually really believed, this would have made so much more sense for you to pray like 5 times a pray. I would pray 50 times a day. Wouldn't that make more sense, guys? I really think these people don't genuinely believe what they think they believe. Batul is saying, I guess their task here is to represent themselves and not Islam or Western Islam. Yeah, that's a good point, Batul. Don't you think the women wouldn't admit they don't pray 5 times? Well, I don't know what their goes on. I'm just gonna I'm gonna assume they're being honest. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I think I can't read people's minds, right? I'm gonna try. I mean, we can have fun with trying to guess if they're being honest or not. But Tua saying, yeah, that's called social pressure. Horrible. Yeah, I don't know what's going. I'm just guessing. Okay, heaven and hell. Here, P2020 saying your standards and expectations of them are way above their pay grade. I don't know what that. Anytime after 30 years of age is the afterlife. That's funny. Vicky saying, Armin, Imam, Muhammad. What is this? Oh, yes. Yeah, they do not think the same. Armin goes full tech theory. Oh no, I wasn't doing that. Hey, here's the thing. If you don't, I'm not saying they're not Muslim just because they're not, their beliefs are not very strong, or that their entire life is not focused on Islam. That doesn't make them a non-Muslim. I know Susanna is joking, but I just want to make sure that I'm not saying that they're not Muslim. Lee is saying, I think most people in any religion don't take it as seriously as they would want you to believe they do. Yeah, that's true. Christians are like that as well.
Gets kind of in the way.
Gets kind of in the way. Oh my.
I could quantify it. I'm averaging about 3 out of 5 prayers. I think I will find myself in prayer more when I'm in desperation. It's not something that's subjective. I know we should be all.
She's like, look at her face. She's like, oh, you guys are so cute. You're not doing your prayers.
In prayer
And
more when I'm in desperation. It's not.
But like, she's like judging her. Like, you guys have no idea. You guys call yourself Muslims.
Something that's subjective. I know we should be all praying as a requirement.
But at least they're honest.
I just want to say it takes a lot of guts to be honest and say that.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that if you feel it in your heart that you have a strong relationship with God, God will have mercy on you with whatever you're dealing with. So
you're gonna burn for not praying. It doesn't work like that. Okay, know your Islam, lady. What did she say?
Have a strong relationship with God. God will have mercy on you.
No, you're gonna burn. It's like you'd miss your prayer, you're gonna burn. Okay, it's not gonna be like, oh, I didn't pray, but I had a genuine strong relationship with you. Like, I asked you to pray, and you didn't pray, so you're gonna burn. That's how it works. That's how it works, lady. That's how it is. Know your Islam.
Whatever you're dealing with. So
being on this line doesn't mean it's like a piece of cake to do the 5.
It is a piece of cake. 5 times, praying 5 times a day for, like, okay, God, I'm more Muslim. As an ex-Muslim atheist, I'm more Muslim than these people. Okay, here's what I would say if I actually believe in these. Wow, we got a new member, milady cleric is like, new member. Thank you so much, appreciate that. Wow, thank you. Wow, we're getting so many new members. Okay, so I will put my Muslim hat on and preach Islam to these pathetic Muslims who are not being properly Muslim. Okay, they're like, oh, it's so hard. This is what a Muslim would tell you, and a good Muslim would tell these people. Like, good Muslim is not a good thing, by the way. Are you serious? This is hard. God, you know how much God has done for you? You know how easy you have it? Have you seen Muslims that don't miss their prayer while bombs dropping on their head? Do you know how privileged you are? Do you really think it's too much to ask to take it just a few minutes out of your day 5 times to pray? Given what God has done for you, given everything that you have, you ungrateful. I don't want to swear. This is nothing. People will give their lives for God. People will bleed for God. People will get tortured for God. And you're saying 5 times, few minutes every day, after everything, to acknowledge the creator of the universe? You think that's too much work? That's what I would say to these people if I was a Muslim. Luckily, I'm not. She's speaking Christianity when you mention the word relationship. I don't know what that is referring to. Hold on. Vicky saying, okay, I will rob a bank and have a total faith in God, and God be like, rob some more banks, my son. That's not how, that's more like Christianity than Islam.
I have daily prayers. It is a struggle. It's a challenge. I was working in a corporate environment where I could not comfortably find a space, so I'd have to go pray in the car.
Oh, boo-hoo. Like, oh, you're between a relationship with your God and worldly things like corporation. You think who matters? Whose judgment on you matters more? God or your boss at work? Like, is that a struggle to decide between those two options?
Parking lot.
Man, I sound like a fundamentalist Muslim right now.
So it is a challenge, but yeah.
Islam promotes violence.
Ooh, okay. Islam promotes violence. It does. Come on, guys, it does. But I'm almost sure that almost none of you are gonna admit this. Strongly disagree. How many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least 4 of you will say strongly disagree.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, what happened? Disagree is on what side? Oh, this is this is disagree on this side. Strongly disagree. This guy doesn't know. Okay, yeah, strongly disagree on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You idiots! You not read your Quran? Only this guy says somewhat disagree. Well, so even this guy disagrees. Jesus Christ.
We're not allowed to cut down trees during war. We're not allowed
No, just ex-Muslims. You don't cut down trees. Just you cut down ex-Muslim. Well, not you literally, but what the?
to hurt children and mothers. We're not allowed to hurt
You're not allowed to hurt children and mothers. Well, great. Children and mothers. Okay, guys, oh my God. Oh, this is going to be so painful. You know why you don't hurt the mothers and the children? Because and this is hadith, because you can sell them as sex slaves. That's why you don't hurt them. You just kill the boys who reached puberty, which a lot of them means they're still children. But the women and children, you don't kill them. They're valuable commodities that you could sell for profit. Muhammad, your prophet, did that. He when he took over when they captured the Jews in Medina, they killed all the men and all the boys, not just men but boys, just because they hit the puberty. And they sold the women and children, and Muhammad bought weapons with the money that he sold the women and children for. You guys, you should know this is in your religion. But congratulations for not cutting down the trees. Like, we're not allowed to cut down trees. Do you know why? Because they were date trees. Why would you cut down the goddamn trees when they're giving you profit? Like, what? Cut down the trees? Yeah, you take over land and now they're your trees.
our own prisoners. And when people associate terrorism, something so disgusting with Islam, it hurts me because ISIS targets Muslims more than they target anybody else.
And
They target Muslims because they think they're not Muslim. ISIS targets Shias more than anyone else, not because they're targeting Muslims, because they think they're not Muslims. Because ISIS doesn't consider Shias to be Muslims. This is so annoying. These people have no idea what they're talking about.
and in the age of Google, there's no excuse.
Yes, there's no excuse for you. Oh my. Okay, hold on. I need to calm down. I need to read you guys. Okay. Batul saying, I feel your pain. We are with you. Oh, thank you. After, yeah, okay. Oh, no. Ethan is saying, after the guy on somewhat disagree makes a statement, he should move over to the agree side. Man, you guys, it's so hypocritical. She's saying in the age of Google, there's no excuse. This is so painful. Yeah, there is no excuse for you guys to say, I strongly disagree that Islam promotes no violence. That excuse for you does not exist. Hold on, let me find this for you guys, okay? Like, as somebody who here, let me just find Sahih Bukhari, because I want to make it clear to everybody what this is, like, that this, I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, okay? Like, do these people know that I'm assuming that all of them are Sunni here, right? I think that's a pretty safe bet. Sunnah. Okay. Allah's apostle, the blood of a Muslim. Okay, here. Oh, yeah, it doesn't promote violence. It doesn't promote violence. Hey, let's look at this. And there's a whole bunch of this. Is not just one of them. There's a lot of this. Okay, this is about me. Okay, like this third part. This is Sahih Bukhari. Okay, Sahih Bukhari is the most. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim are the most authoritative source of Islamic hadith in Islam. Okay. Yes, Susanna. Susanna saying it reminds me of Majidna was telling me that I sound like a Wahhabi. I sound like I'm representing Islam properly and honestly and accurately. Oh, let me zoom in for you guys so you guys can see. Okay. Okay. Allah's messenger. This means Muhammad, and this wiggly self here is saying Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which means peace be upon him. Right. Let me zoom in even more. Saying the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that I am his apostle. All of this could have been said like means Muslim. A Muslim, okay, the blood of a Muslim cannot be shed, so you cannot kill a Muslim except in 3 cases. So there's 3 cases when somebody who was a Muslim or is a Muslim, you could kill them. In response to murder, let me see what this word is, right? So if they commit murder, okay. I mean, this is not that questionable for a lot of people. I mean, I'm against capital punishment as a whole, but a lot of people would see this. A married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse, okay, and the one who reverts from Islam and leaves the Muslims. That's me. They're talking about me. This messenger, your prophet, says in many places in the hadith, Sahih hadith, that I should be killed simply for leaving Islam, for being an apostate. Okay, so this is here. This is, you know what I use right now to show you this? Guess what I used? Google, lady Nia. In the age of Google, yes, I use exactly what you mentioned to show that you have zero excuse to say strongly disagree. See how that works? Anyways, let me continue.
If you don't know that Islam means peace, Islam
doesn't mean peace. Islam means submission. Guys, Islam okay, these people, they didn't know, just because. So when you say Islam, right, like this, right, you guys can see, there's the root words is sin, lam, and meme, right? The 3 root words. It shares the 3 root words with the words that could mean peace. Okay, but Islam, it's by itself, just because it shares the root words of other words that could mean peace, doesn't mean Islam itself means peace. Islam itself means submission to Allah. Okay, you understand? Like there are many other words in Arabic where they share the same root, but the same roots of these words are used in so many different ways that do not share the same meaning. Having the same root, 2 different Arabic words having the same roots, does not mean that they share the same meaning. Islam by itself means submission.
surrender. Being a Muslim is one who
surrender, not peace. There's anybody who says this is such crap. You have no idea what you're talking about, lady. Islam does not mean peace. It just has the same root words as something like salam, which means peace. Doesn't mean Islam itself doesn't mean peace.
who submits their will to God.
Yes, submit.
How is that violent?
Yes, okay. So how is that violent? Because, okay, hold on, let me explain this to you, okay?
Well, there's no excuse. Like, if you don't know that Islam means peace,
No.
Islam means surrender, being a Muslim is one who submits their will to God, how is that violent?
How is that violent? Okay, so the first part is wrong. Islam doesn't mean peace. The second part is right. Islam means submitting yourself to Allah. How is that violent? Well, you're submitting yourself to a fictional character who demands violence. That's how the word Islam, which means submitting yourself to Allah, does promote violence, how do you not see that, like, oh my God, I can't imagine, how could something that means submitting yourself to Allah, how could that be violence? Well, because Allah demands violence, and submitting yourself to Allah will require you to commit violence. That's how it works. Nia, I don't know.
Like, at the end of the day, I feel like media is the one that has that hand and that stronghold causing folks to be that way. Or
It's the opposite. The media is on your side. The media goes out of its way to try to make it seem like there's no Islam violence. What? Who? Why? What? No. It's the other way around.
think that way.
Actually, let me see. Guys, if I miss anything in the live chat, I'm at the end. I'm going to pay attention to the live, focus on the live chat. Okay. Ethan is saying it is the religion or history. Much of the religious text comes off as telling of history, while also explaining the existence of God. Can the two be separated? I'm talking about scripture. Okay. The history of Islam or Christianity is filled with Muslims who were not properly Muslim, or were not following the text. If you want to judge Islam, you don't look at what Muslims do or say. You look at what with their founding documents. Always find the scripture. Do you go with the Quran and the authentic hadith? That's how you decide what Islam stands for. Okay. Imagine Matthias saying, imagine if they find out there is no God, this Google lady gonna turn. No, I don't think so. I think that's what Mattia means, that they're not. Milady is like the Latin, it's like that in Latin too. Oh, really? The root words. Yeah.
I guess I literally listened to the prompts. Does Islam?
Okay, so this is the guy who somewhat disagrees. So he's not saying that Islam promotes violence. He's also disagreeing, but everybody else went to strongly disagree. This guy went to only somewhat disagree. So these people are like, what? Why are you not here with us?
I guess I literally listened to the prompts. Does Islam promote violence? And I'm only speaking not from my personal perspective, but just from trying to understand how discussions about this religion can be used to defame it, to justify terrorism.
So he's seen too much. I think this guy has seen so many, not just like non-Muslims, but Muslims, genuine Muslims who look at the scripture and they're like, yeah, we need to do violence, right? And he's like, well, I don't think that Islam promotes violence, but I've seen so many Muslims that I know that there's a direct line between some people who just read the text and come up with the conclusion that they need to do violence. Like I've seen that. Okay. So even if it doesn't promote violence, we cannot pretend that it doesn't result into that.
Terrorism per se. When somebody says, and for the record, kill a non-believer, let's acknowledge that sentence. And if we're going to reach a conclusion and a solution with somebody who does think this way of us and our faith, we need to
Guys, no talking.
Understand their argument thoroughly.
But
I disagree with what you just said.
Please.
I really do, because
What?
I read the Quran every day as a practice. And not once in 2019 have I yet gotten to a verse about violence. All of
How? Jesus, how did you not got into one verse about violence? Are you sure you're reading the Quran and not Dr. Seuss or something? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you reading the same book? Are you even paying attention to what you're reading when you're reading the Quran? How do you go through the Quran and be like, not even once? It's filled with violence. It's actually worse than violence. It's like just pure violence. The Quran is obsessed with the torture of the non-believers.
of them about mercy of God, turn to God.
Mercy of God? What about all the verses of the wrath of God? Have you noticed those? They're all over the Quran. How do you not notice that?
God is with you. To me,
He's like, yeah, he look at his face. He's like, okay, yeah, but there are other verses too. Look at him, like how like he's being put it. I think he's feeling like he's not defending, like he's being he feels like alone here. I don't know. He feels like I see being a proper Muslim, like all these Muslims are defending Islam.
Are
That's
you
an
denying the
emotional
verses?
connection.
Okay, I understand.
That is an emotional.
She's like, she's not letting him talk. He's like, he wants to say, are you denying the existence of these other verses? And she's like, yo, you be quiet. You be quiet. You do not talk about my Quran like that.
God is
Thank you so much, Mattia, for a $5 Australian super chat. That's very sweet. Thank you so much, sir or ma'am.
with you. To me,
Are
that's
you
an
denying the
emotional
verses?
connection.
Okay, I understand.
That is an emotional connection to my creator.
It seems, lady, it seems like you're having the emotional reaction right now. You're having the emotional reaction. He's like acknowledging something that is actually there. And you're like, you guys are having the emotion. You seem like you are offended. You are so sensitive that you cannot see actual verses right in front of you. You read it all the time, and you deny the existence of verses that are there written in black and white. And you're saying other people are having an emotional reaction to the existence, and you're accusing another Muslim of saying something like that.
Sure.
And I'm not going to allow anybody to take that away.
I'm not gonna allow anybody to take it away from me, but you are the one that is having an emotional reaction. I'm just gonna like no, you do not even get to say this. You do not even get to acknowledge that these violent verses are real, but you are the people who are having an emotional reaction.
Take what the statement that you
Please.
gave, kill the non-believers. At the time of the Holy Prophet, the Muslims were endangered. They were the
Correct.
minority, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So, but
But-
it doesn't necessarily mean that because we are in danger that whenever there's a non-believer, we kill them. What non-believer?
No. It's only a book that is supposed to be used as a guide to life forever and ever and ever and ever. And we're supposed to follow the way of Muhammad for what he did. But when he said, like, kill the non-believers, it was just for them at that time. So we're going to be like, oh, this is the guide for life forever. But also this part that we don't like, it was just for them. These are not contradictory position at all. Guys, no talking. Thank you.
Believer refers to are like the Meccans or like the people that were.
Also, guys, here's the thing, okay? Imagine if you're like, oh, because this is because the non-believers were attacking Muhammad and stuff, and that they were defending themselves, which is absolute horse crap. I mean, if you read the story, you can see that it was because they were non-believers, right? But to give you some context, imagine if there's this ISIS group, right? And you are like American army general, and you are planning an attack on this ISIS group, okay? And you are also you're sitting next to this general and you're strategizing. And then he says, like, okay, then at like 1 a.m. we start our attack on the Muslims, and you guys be like, Muslims? You mean the ISIS group, right? Like, yeah. Well, they're Muslim, aren't they? You're like, yeah, but we don't like. Well, I don't know why you're referring to them as Muslim. Like, well, we're attacking Muslims. Like, okay, yeah, but why are you focusing on the fact that they're Muslim? Or imagine, for example, some corrupt politician, right, that just happens to be Jewish, okay? Just like they're corrupt. The fact that they're Jewish has nothing to do with the fact with their corruption. It just happens to be a corrupt politician that just happens to be Jewish. And then you say, like, okay, we need to put this Jew in prison. If you say that, like, yeah, let's go after this Jew, put him in prison, and be like, you might be like, why are you referring to this guy as the Jew? And we keep saying we need to put this Jew in prison. I'm like, well, he is a Jew. Like, yeah, but we're putting him in prison because he's corrupted. It has nothing to do with him being Jewish. Like, yeah, we're not putting him in prison because he's Jewish, or like we're not going after him because he's Jewish. Yeah, but yes, you keep saying like we need to go after this Jew. Like it seems like there's something else. It seems like you're going after him because he's a Jew, not because he's corrupt. Or like it seems like you have an issue with Jewish people. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is that when the prophet says, like, these unbelievers will kill the non-believers, you guys like, yeah, well, these specific non-believers were attacking him, and this was a defensive thing. Like, yeah, but he keeps referring to them as the non-believers. Like, he has an issue with them because they're non-believers. Like it's not like he's not saying, "Oh, these aggressors or the Qurayshis who betrayed me, the people who betrayed me, the people who are aggressive." Like no, he's like the non-believers. That our enemies are the non-believers. Like it seems like you have an issue with them being non-believers more than like that's why they're your enemies. Like that's the impression you get. That's the honest impression that you get when you read the Quran and the Hadith and all the stories. It's they're being they try to make it seem like their killing is because of other reasons. It's not because, but it's pretty clear that Muhammad wanted them to die partly and mostly because they're non-believers, because they didn't submit to Islam, right? And especially even after at the end when he was victorious, and we're like, oh, it was a peaceful takeover. He didn't kill the Meccans, which he did, some of them, but yeah, because they submitted, they had to submit to Islam. They wouldn't be spared if they didn't submit to Islam. So if you were not a Muslim, if you didn't submit, if you remained a non-believer, you would have been killed. It was about non-believing. It wasn't about, yeah. Lee is saying this lady sounds Christian. Oh no, I already read that. Milady is saying mom's side was Catholic and dad was Methodist. So I got those with their version. Yeah, okay. Oh, guys, make sure if you want me to read, if you're wanting me to read actually something you're saying, you tag Atheist Republic. Soha is saying Islam doesn't promote violence, but there are more than 400 ayahs in Quran that talks about killing, murder, torture, and having slaves, including sex slaves. Yes, the Quran also promotes having sex slaves. And also having sex with children.
Actively going against Muslims and
Right.
trying to
Sure.
harm us and
Kill
stuff.
them.
And I wanted this healthy
Okay.
discourse.
Yes, and
That's
I,
not a healthy discourse. These people are just shouting over you. They're triggered by you even acknowledging. You're not even saying that the Quran Islam promotes violence. You're just like, hey, this could be read that way. And they're like, they don't want you to let you speak.
Dwell upon that other perspective. I didn't grow up proud of those verses because I didn't understand them.
Yeah,
but
and
now that I
several
do have
times-
full understanding, I know that it's important to keep not a one-dimensional perspective, but not even accept the others, but thoroughly understand it.
Hijab should be mandatory.
Hijab should be. I mean, they're all gonna disagree with this. Hijab. If they did, like, there's a non-hijabi woman right in the middle of them. Are they gonna say that you're right? Honestly, like when it comes to Islam itself, this is pretty all over the place because the Quran doesn't have anything on this, but the Hadith does. But I mean, if you go by the Hadith, yeah, it should be mandatory.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, this lady, one at least went to this. Wait, what? Holy, the non-hijabi lady is somewhat agreeing that hijab should be mandatory? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Did I misunderstand the question? Hijab should be mandatory, and the non-hijabi Muslim lady is agreeing? What? This makes no sense.
3, 2, 1.
What the hell? Did she not understand the question? Guys, how is this happening?
I have strong feelings.
Oh, yeah, she didn't. Okay.
I just feel like
I was so confused. She was in. she switched spots. I was like, "What the hell? What's happening?"
strong
Like,
feelings.
whoopsies.
I just feel like it's a woman's right to cover if she wants to, and to tell a woman
Oh, woman's right. Yeah. Okay. Talk to your prophet about women's rights.
what to do with her body is totally against our Islamic principles. So.
What? What?
And to tell a woman what to do with her body is totally against our Islamic principles.
To tell a woman what to do with her body is totally against our Islamic principles. What are you talking about? Lady, have you lady, in the age of Google, there's no excuse. This is so ironic. Yet, oh my God, I'm speechless. How could you say that? Have you read the Quran? Like she says, like, oh, I've read the Quran all the time. In the age of Google, there's no excuse. And then she says, like, oh, it's completely against Islam to tell women what to do with their body. You're insane. You're either dishonest or you completely like. Do you know how to read? Like, how does this happen?
So
You know, being a guy here, I just made a really conscious decision to be like somewhat agree, because people don't understand that hijab is like a concept, as far as like it's not just like the actual headscarf.
No, it's hijab is. It's not just a headscarf; it's the covering for all your body.
Really promotes the idea of modesty, and that's how you get closer to God. And
yeah, modesty is bad.
If you
why
feel
does
like
why does she keep moving? This lady cannot make up her mind on this question.
Headscarf is a way for you to get.
She went back to somewhat agree, even though she went back to somewhat agree, even though she's not wearing the hijab.
If you feel like having a headscarf is a way for you to get closer to God, then so be it.
100%.
Wait, so be it. Okay, so he's like, if hijab makes you get closer to God, so be it. But you're saying it should be mandatory. If so, do these people not understand what the question is? This is so confusing. Ethan, somehow the woman in purple is going BLM on Islam.
I agree with that, because it's not just a headscarf, it's your behavior, it's a personality, it's how you treat your friends and your neighbors. Yeah.
No, hijab is not all of those things. You guys are answering it. She's like, hijab is not just hijab, it's how you treat your friends or neighbors. No, it's not. Those are different parts of Islam. Hijab is just a hijab. God, you guys are just not answering the question.
For a lot of people, the process is build my courage, my bravery, and my confidence, and then wear the scarf. For me, it was kind of reverse. I started with the scarf because I knew that I was not going to build that bravery unless I started wearing it. Because when you put it on, you start acting different. You start acting nicer, kinder, because now you're representing your religion, your faith.
Okay, but what does this got to do with the question? You guys are like, oh yeah, hijab could make you closer to God. And she's like, well, this is what hijab is all about. And I don't even know what you think anymore. But you guys... The question was whether it should be mandatory. Why should it be mandatory? As any of you the three of you are gonna explain why it should be mandatory, especially you who's not wearing the hijab.
Make me think really deep about that, because I've been struggling. I wore it when I was about 15. I tried it out, but it's been a struggle because internally I want to be a better Muslimah, that I'm going to represent to society before my outer side represents Islam.
This had nothing to do with the question. Did you guys think that they misunderstand the question, or am I misunderstanding something? I have faced discrimination from my religion. Probably all of them. All of them, probably.
Discrimination for my religion. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Oh, no one going by. Oh yeah, all of them. All of them.
Though I'm not
This guy is like a black sheep here.
traditional Muslim female, I don't wear the scarf. When I was younger, I'd be walking home from the masjid with my mom.
Okay, how many of these discrimination is like legit discrimination, do you think? And how much of it is like, somebody disagreed with me. Somebody told me Islam is like violent. I was discriminated because somebody disagreed with me. Somebody questioned my beliefs and told me this is what Islam said. The discrimination, you have to agree with everything I say about Islam or else I'm being oppressed. Again, I don't know how many of them. I'm pretty sure at least some of them, especially the hijabi ladies, have faced legit form of like uncalled for, disgusting discrimination. We'll see.
She wears the hijab. This was before September 11th even happening. She would get teenagers in cars driving by, spitting on us, cursing at us. She would always say, just brush it off.
When you show that
Okay, yeah, that's horrible.
you're a Muslim in any way, people kind of like you get those glances every so often. But what happened was that after like all this like election things happened, it's funny, people who you grew up with, people who you knew your entire lives are kind of looking at you a little differently. You know, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, wait a second, like, you know me. I didn't think this would be an issue, you know?
I personally,
Well, I mean, if you have moronic beliefs, I'll consider that would be part of part of my evaluation of you. It's not going to be the only thing that I mean, I get along with a lot of Muslims, but I cannot shake the fact that you guys, like, I'm pretty sure, like, for example, you guys in the live chat, right? Like Ethan is a Trump supporter, right? I'm very much anti-Trump. Okay, I'm pretty sure the fact that he disagrees with me on that is going to somehow affect the way he feels about me, right? I mean, it's natural. But again, I'm not any. You shouldn't be. Don't be a dick to anybody, guys. Even if their moronic beliefs is going to influence how you think of them, just don't be a dick to anybody. It's not so hard.
Not experienced explicit discrimination. I conveniently can shave my beard and try to compensate almost, and it's sad to admit, but I know it's not my job to create a comfort space for another person. However, I would say that if you do,
that guy's beard, by the way, is really nice.
You guys confront it explicitly, try to think of it as an opportunity to teach as opposed to reacting with emotion.
I think it also depends on what the encounter is. Like I had a
Okay, here's the thing. I don't have much of a problem with showing emotion. I think you guys have noticed that I'm okay with showing some emotion. You can be passionate about the things that you believe in. If I wouldn't hold that against anybody.
a beer bottle thrown at me after 9/11.
What?
I think it also depends on what the encounter is. Like I had a beer bottle thrown at me after 9/11.
Whoa! Somebody threw a beer bottle at her. God damn it, that's horrible. I hope she called.
Go confront that person, and be like, "Hey, let's build bridges."
Right.
Like it's not no. But if there's someone who's got a little bit of an attitude or misconception, I'll work on that.
Okay, that's so fair. Okay, you cannot be like, I'm a Muslim. I'm supposed to defend Islam, represent Islam. If somebody throws a beer bottle at you, yeah, there's too much of a like. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go build bridges with that guy and try to change their mind. That's too much of a. I mean, if you do, that's kudos to you after somebody throws a beer bottle at you, but that's too much of an expectation. Like, yeah, get the hell out of there. Call the cops.
Women are equal to men.
Oof! Oh, these people are touching all the controversial stuff. Hey, women are equal to men. I think most of them are going to agree, and they're going to say it's not they're going to completely mess up. This is going to be so easy to show how they're, especially this purple lady. The purple lady is so full of crap, and she's going to say they are equal, and I've read the Quran, and it doesn't disagree with that. And anybody who says otherwise should shut the hell up. That's what she's going to say.
3, 2, 1.
Look, they all agree.
I'm gonna somewhat.
She's so okay. You know what? I like this non-hijabi lady. She's like, she doesn't know. She's like, I don't know this is so hard. I don't know what I think. She keeps jumping around. I mean, it's good. At least she's being like skeptical and thinking about her positions. That's kind of nice, right? Like she's like, I don't know what I'm. she's dancing around the whole room.
Change mine.
Wow.
I had to think about it.
I have to think about it. Like, that's pretty honest. You see, we need to make skepticism cool again, right? She's like, I don't know. I have to think about it.
The reason I stood on agree and not strongly agree is that my understanding of human beings is that
look, she's offended that people are not standing with her. She can't tolerate this disagreement. She's like, why are you guys not here with me? Look at her face.
My understanding of human
I'm shocked. Look at her. She's like, she can't handle disagreement. She's like, I'm shocked.
Is that women and men in general have different roles. Men cannot bear children.
Okay, guys. So when we talk about equal, people do not clarify what they're talking about. Are they saying equal in rights or equal in biology? Because obviously, men and women are not equal in many ways, right? I mean, we're different. That's why they have different names for us. Men and women, or else the whole point of saying men or women would. I mean, we're different, okay? But I think when people say equal, they mean equal in rights. And when it comes to equal in rights, yeah, there should be equal in rights all the way. So the difference in biology and the difference on how that affects us should not result in differences in our rights. Okay? So I'm assuming that the question was about rights and not about anything else. So if you say like, yeah, men and women are different in some ways, yeah, that's not what the question is about. The question is about rights.
Children women do. In Islam, there's no discriminatory thing. There's nothing that a man can do that a woman cannot. And
what? Wait, Quran 4:34. There's nothing a woman can do that a woman cannot. These people have they read the Quran? And again, I'm gonna go back to that lady's what that lady was saying in the age of Google. Look, I just Googled this. Hold on, let me go like this. Let me see what you guys are saying. This is Quran 4:34. Okay, men are in charge of women by right of. Okay, it's just men are in charge of women. That's all you need to know. But it gets worse. By right of what Allah has given one over the other, and what they spend for maintenance from their wealth. So men are the bread, bringers, and they should be in charge because they're the providers. So righteous women are devoutly obedient, guarding the husband's absence, what Allah would have them guard. But wives from whom you fear arrogance, so the wives that you fear that they're going to be arrogant, first advise them, then if they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. So beat your wives if you what? If you fear arrogance. You have to beat the crap out of your wives. But if they look how merciful God is, right? If they obey you, if they obey you, once more, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. Again, guys, in the age, like she said, in the age of Google, there's no excuse.
And I don't have to prove otherwise except to cite in the Quran when Allah addresses us, believing men and believing women.
God damn it, lady. How? She's like, okay, so I showed you a verse in the Quran telling you that women should be beaten if they're being disobedient, or not just if they're being disobedient, if you fear that they're being disobedient. And she's like, I don't have to prove that women and men are equal in Islam other than mentioning that the Quran mentions believing men and believing women. Oh yeah, because you're being addressed, because your existence is being acknowledged, that means that the Quran is treating you equally, even though it's telling you husbands to beat their wives if they're feeling arrogance. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other verses. Women could be taken as sex slaves according to the Quran, even if they're married according to the Quran. Women get half of the inheritance of men according to the Quran. Women's testimony in court counts as half of men according to the Quran. But this lady, like, I don't have to defend any of that, but I'm just going to focus on the part that the God says believing men and women. So thank you, God, for acknowledging that we actually exist. That means we're equal to men. Yay! Forget the part that we could be taken captured as sex slaves and raped against our own. I mean, the whole idea of consent doesn't even exist in the Quran or in the Hadith when it comes to women. The consent has to come from the father or the husband. But forget all of that. The Quran said believing men and believing women. Wow! Yay, we're equal. So, for example, if I say slave masters and slaves, here are the laws that you have to abide by. Like, for example, in the Bible has rules for slave masters and also has rules for the slaves themselves. It tells the slave masters that if you beat your slaves, make sure that they don't die or that they could recover after 2 days. That's what the Bible says. It also tells slave owners, the slaves themselves, to be obedient to their slave masters. Guys, the Bible is addressing both these slave masters and the slaves. That means slave masters are equal to their slaves. Yay, equality.
Same level.
No, disagree. I
Same
have
level.
a
I read the Quran.
verbatim.
So you can't tell me.
He's like, no, he's like, they're equal. And he's like, wait, I remember that can't be right. I've seen a verse. And she's like, no, you don't, be quiet. You don't say anything. This is, you know what she's doing? This is her version. I'm going like, oh, I can't hear you. La, 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 la. That's what she's doing. He's like, no, wait. I remember a verse that was not in, she's wrong. Hold on.
Same level.
No, disagree. I
read the Quran.
Verbatim.
So you can't tell me.
In the court of law, the Quran explicitly says.
No, she's like, no, you can't tell me. No, be quiet. Shut up. And she was accusing other people of being emotional.
I'm sorry.
Two female witnesses
No.
carry the weight of one male, and that's why I said.
Which verse that he's talking about? Hold on.
You can't tell me.
In the court of law, the Quran explicitly states.
I'm sorry.
Two female witnesses carry the weight of one.
Yeah, two female witnesses carry the weight of one because women and it even tells you why. Apparently, women are not that smart according to the Quran. It specifically tells you that women are idiots. So if you want to get a testimony of one, if you need a man to testify for man's testimony in court, for each man you need two women because women are idiots according to the Quran. And like, I remember that verse. I remember seeing that. I mean, I know that's there. And she's like, no, shut up. No, my God is great. No, be quiet. Like, she's like, so she's not having it.
One male, and that's why I stood over there. I personally feel, and if it were up to me, it would be 50-50. There is no discrimination on my personal bias, but
why are you standing there?
I'm acknowledging that the Quran prescribes.
Yeah, like, this guy's better than Islam. He's like, listen, I think women should be treated equally. And she's like, why are you standing there? And he's like, well, because the Quran, because the question wasn't about me. The question was about the Quran. You're like, it's the verses there. I mean, guys, is there. And she's like,
something here, right?
No. In Islam, we do get equal opportunities. Scientifically, no, we're not equal. Because men can do things physically that we can't do. Women can do.
That's not the question, though. The question is whether you should have equal rights.
Things that men can't do. So my question would be, what aspect are we discussing?
Sure, personal belief versus.
Yeah, actually, yeah, great. She's like, the question is not clear because I assume the question is about rights, not about differences in biology. She's like, what are we even talking about? Are we talking about rights or changes in differences in biology? That's, yeah, very good. Like, she's like, we need to clarify what we're talking about.
Islamic belief versus societal belief, that's three different things. If I'm saying personally, I believe women can be greater than men. Simp. Women can be greater than men. Of course, they can be greater than men. Men can be greater than women. Women can be greater than men. But these are like, oh, like, I love women. Look at me. I'm a feminist. Women are so great. They're better than men. Yeah, but he is saying that my standards are this, but this is what Islam says. So he's acknowledging that his standards are different from Islam. I believe women have.
Islam says that.
However,
it doesn't say that. What? Hold on, let's go back. She's like, let's ignore the Quran and just make it. We live in La La Land. We can just pretend. Let's just pretend that this is what Islam says. And but this verse, like, no. You do not tell me what I say. What the Quran says. You do not show. Like, forget what. God damn it.
That's three different things. If I'm saying personally, I believe women can be greater than men. I believe women have.
Islam says that.
However,
where? Citation needed.
Islam promotes that.
Oh, Islam promotes that. Where?
Completely, yeah.
You can be Muslim and be part of the LGBT community. Well, technically you can. You just be a sinning Muslim. I'm thinking most of them would agree. Here's the thing. Just because you're sinning, that doesn't mean you're not a Muslim. You guys want to eat? Okay, sorry.
And part of the LGBT community. 3, 2, 1.
All right, so I agree with these people, but not for the same reasons that they're saying it. Okay, they are saying that I think a lot of these people are saying these are like the Western moderate liberal Muslims. They're like, there's no contradiction between LGBT and Islam, which is that's full of crap. But the reason why I agree that you could be Muslim and LGBT at the same time, because according to Islam, sinning doesn't make you a non-Muslim. You could sin and you could pay for it in the afterlife while you're still a Muslim. Just because you're not following Islam, that doesn't make you not a Muslim. Okay? Does it just make you a bad Muslim, right? The only thing that makes you not a Muslim is if you say that, oh, Quran is not the word of God, or if you say Muhammad is not Allah's prophet, or if you deny the existence of God, or if you have partners for God, like if you believe in other gods, right? These things makes you non-Muslim. But if you believe in these things, even if you have never read the Quran, even if you don't follow any single Islamic rules, you're still a Muslim. You could have orgies on daily basis with men and women at the same time, and animals, and I don't know, objects or whatever. Okay, and you will still be a Muslim if you believed in those core principles. You'll just be a sinning Muslim. So I agree that you could be a Muslim and part of the LGBT community, but for different reasons probably than these people, because they probably just gonna say, "Oh, there's no contradiction."
It's such a broad question that I'm gonna stand here just to be
Ooh, listen, this woman is a little bit more conservative than the rest of them.
on the safe side.
I'm a contradiction.
Look at her struggling. Look at her. She's like, I'm being intolerant. Oh my God, look at her. I'm being so intolerant.
Stand here just to be on the safe side.
Wait, you guys are going? Okay. Oh, okay. It's okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.
I'm a contradictory human being. I pray with one hand and commit sin with the other. So I'm not in a position to be able to tell somebody that they're excluded from a whole faith if perhaps their faith in God is stronger than mine.
Okay.
Look, this is the struggle, okay? This is the struggle. This is what Islam, whatever she's going to say, this is the problem with Islam, okay? Because she acknowledges, she knows what Islam stands for, but she also knows that it's wrong. And there's this, I'm guessing, okay? I could be completely wrong about what's going on. My assumption is that there's an internal struggle right now happening in her brain about things that she knows that are wrong, but things that she knows that she has to accept as good. And this is eating her up from inside, you know? This is the things that makes you uncomfortable because you're promoting things that you don't want to be promoting.
So you can be anything.
This is it. This is going to be very difficult because Islam is standing against the values that she holds very dear, and it's really, really uncomfortable. This is really uncomfortable. Guys, this is your mind on Islam.
And be a Muslim, but
Hold on, what did she say? What did she say?
can be anything and be a Muslim. But I guess the reason I'm standing here is because Islam is a lot about the progression of the human race and about what is natural and what is not. Islam doesn't necessarily support like the lifestyle of the LGBT community. However, they do support them as human beings, and that is something like it's something that I've struggled with. Because
Look, she's crying. You see her voice is shaking. She's like struggling with this. Like, I don't want to be an intolerant bigot, but my religion is my religion. Oh, look, she's actually crying. She's actually crying. Aw, this is so sad.
they have my 100% love and support. I take a
Whoa.
bullet for anybody. I don't care what their sexual orientation is. My best friend, he's gay, and we've had these conversations before, and he's told me that, you know what, Husna, I love you for you. I love you for everything that we've been through together. I don't care what it is that you stand for, and that's, it's really comforting to know that you don't have to support a lifestyle to support a human being, to love a human being, and to love people unconditionally.
I love what you
She knows it's wrong. She knows that her religion is wrong, and she can't deal with it. You know, guys, you see this this is the cost of Islam. It's not. This is the cost of Islam. These heartbreaks. It's not like when they talk about the cost of religion and the cost of dogma. Don't just think about like explosions or suicide bombing. Those are real things as well. But this happens. The heartbreaks, the feel of shame. Imagine if you're actually like she's not even gay and she's feeling this. Imagine what you would be feeling if you were gay, right? The feeling of shame, the feeling of disgust, the people who love each other but are not with each other, the families break apart. This is, if you add up all the misery that Islam causes, like subtly like this, I promise you it adds up to more than war and suicide bombing. Because this is every day. This is the heartbreak that you feel every day, all the time, in million places. Right now, as we speak, that's happening. All right.
Support a human being, to love a human being, and to love people unconditionally.
Somebody hug her. Not you guys, not the men. That's haram.
Love what you said. Yeah, and that's why I'm here, because the prompt was, can you
That's why I'm here, because I don't want to support Islamic values, because it's horrible, because it's disgusting to support actual genuine Islamic values.
be LGBTQ and Muslim? And yes, you can be anything and Muslim. If we're going to get into the logistics of lifestyle practices and the core of scripture, yes, there are different lifestyles or things that are asked for in scripture, but there's nothing that says
They're not just asked for, they're demanded. They're demanded with the punishment of death in this life and the punishment of fire in the next. Do not sugarcoat this crap.
they are not welcome in the faith. They are not welcome in our houses of worship. They cannot pray. They cannot stand beside us. They don't fast. They are people.
It's very hard.
Yay! Good job.
And,
I like this girl.
part of the community.
I agree with you.
No, do not agree with her. Just hug her.
Statement.
I am American.
Okay, they're all gonna think they're American. I mean, they are. Sorry, they are all obviously Americans if they're American citizens, right? And also, if they consider their American identity a big part of their identity, that is something that a lot of non-American Muslims will look at and be like, you guys are traitors, right? Just like a lot of Israeli Muslims, Arab Israeli Muslims, who are considered like traitors by a lot of Muslims outside of Israel, especially by the Palestinians. I think a lot of them are like, yeah, of course I'm American. Yeah, I mean they should. Again, they should. They are Americans, okay? But the fact that they see them being as American being as a big part of their identity is one reason why a lot of non-American Muslims look down upon them.
3, 2, 1.
What? Okay, this is shocking. I mean, I don't know what she thinks anymore. What is happening here? Like, is she not an American citizen? Like I thought like all of them. Like, look, this guy is not even. This guy is funny. He's not even standing on the line. Like, I'm touching the wall. Like he didn't do that about anything else. Look, when it was about Islamic topics, he was just like on strongly agree or something. But when it comes like, are you American? He's like, I'm not even gonna go on strongly agree. I'm gonna go all the way to beyond strongly agree. I'm hugging the wall. Look, him being American was more important to him than anything else Islam related. Oh my god, that's so good. Oh, that's good. Wait, but I knew that. I thought all of them were going to be on the strongly agree side. So I don't know what the hell. Okay, I want to know what her explanation is.
I swear I'm not trying to make this controversial, but I somewhat disagree because I'm first Afghan.
She's a dual citizen. That's why. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. She's like, I have two citizenship, and one of them is more. I mean, you're still okay. You could say, but that doesn't mean that you're not American. So you could be like, I have dual citizenship. and I value one of these citizenships above the other one. But just because you value one of them more than the other one, that doesn't mean that you are less of the second one. You are still 100% fully American. You can't be. It's a binary thing. You can't be more American. You're either American or you're not American.
I would say I'm American.
Good.
So I do
Okay.
identify as Syrian first. And so
Oh, see, even her. So it's see, guys, when they are saying that, even when they're slightly disagreeing, it's not because they're Muslim. It's because they're both of the people that didn't go to the strongly agree part is because they had dual citizenship. Okay, so the Islam part of their ideas didn't make them feel less American.
what is America? So for me, that identity, because I grew up not feeling like a minority, and I was always proud
Good.
American.
Good. So you grew up not feeling like you're a part of a minority. So that's great progress.
I didn't talk about my Syrian heritage. I wasn't familiar with it. And then the last decade,
But you also had a beer bottle thrown at you, so that's horrible.
like, whoa, I kind of whitewashed my history to be the proud American, to fit in. And everyone was like, if you took off your scarf, you'd be just another white girl. It's just, there's a battle. Like, I'm proud American.
Yeah, so the pressure from both sides is horrible. The people that pressured you to wear your hijab is dumb, and the people who are pressuring you to take off your hijab, that's also dumb. Okay, this should be just like a discussion that people, if anybody wants to have this discussion with you, it should be only when you welcome it and you give people the green light to have that discussion with you. And at the end of the day, it's your choice, right?
But it's like, what does American mean right now?
Yeah.
With everything that's happening.
As a Muslim who just happens to be black in America, I've never not known this to be my country. Because
Good. Ethan is saying, I appreciate the guy on the wall, America first. Ethan is a Trump supporter. Is like he appreciated the guy who went and touched all the wall. But again, guys, just like you don't. Again, Ethan is a Trump supporter. He's saying Trump 2020. I'm very much against Trump, and but Ethan still supports us even though he's a Trump supporter. Okay, but just like you could, but. Ethan, you don't have to be a Trump supporter to be American or not a Trump supporter. You don't have to be a Muslim. You could be an atheist. You could be American. And also, another thing that I hope one of them points out is that you could be extremely critical of America, and that does not go against seeing yourself as an American. As American, you could be you could be hating what your country is doing right now, and still consider yourself to be 100% American. In fact, you could also say, well, the reason why I'm so aggressively against the things we do is because I care for this country and I wanted to see it do better. Okay, so whether you're supporting the things that the country is doing right now or you're against it, none of that should be seen as you being American or not American.
that's what this country was founded on.
Wait, what?
That's what this country in America. I've never not known this to be my country because that's what this country was founded on.
Well, it wasn't founded based on that, but it became more and more like that, which is great. So that's actually, a country doesn't have to be the way a country can progress to doesn't always have to be based on what it was founded on. A country could become better than what it was founded on, even though the United States is one of the countries that was founded on principles superior to most other countries. It still became even better than what it even originally was. Like, yeah, I mean, the founders, the way that United States was founded, you probably wouldn't fit in very well. So United States has became a lot, even though it was founded based on great values, it became a lot better.
Being able to be who you are, having the freedom to be that and not feel persecuted. And so, that's how I live my life. And
that's why Muslims do better in the United States than in Islamic countries. Exactly for that reason. That's exactly why you guys are doing a lot better as Muslims than in any Islamic country.
I'm not going to let anybody force me or talk me into thinking differently.
Okay, first of all, I agreed with you here for the first time, but people talking to you that's not forcing you into thinking differently. They're inviting you to consider other points of view, and you just like you have this. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I have my beliefs, and nobody can change my mind. This is a very unhealthy attitude. Even though I agree with your last point here, you should always consider other points of view. Yay! Hold on.
Let's have coffee and continue this
conversation. All right, that's good. Let's just focus on the live chat now. Let me see if anything I missed. Wait, hold on. Let's go like this. Yeah, I did. I did the one with the atheist. Did I? No. Okay, I'll look into more of these. If you guys like that. Yes. All right, guys. What comments did I miss? Okay. Susanna saying US. Yeah, guys, I know Jubilee, they have more like this with atheists, with Satanists, with Christians. I think it's going to be fun to do all those as well. Nusantara saying they have a very Americanized view of Muslims too. No Indonesian, no Chinese, no Bosnian. Well, I mean, to be fair to them, they only had 6 spots, right? So it's really hard to represent everybody. Ronald saying the woman in purple should speak to women living in Islamic State. But they don't, I mean, you don't have to go as extreme as Islamic State. You could just talk to Muslims in Iran and Saudi Arabia and Bangladesh and Indonesia and Egypt and Tunisia, right? I mean, here's the thing, guys. You don't even need to talk to Muslims in these Islamic countries. You only have to read the scripture honestly. I mean, I don't know how she missed all the Quranic verses and the hadiths, right? What Muslims do and what Muslims say and what Islamic countries do and the policies that they enforce, it could be Islamic and it could be not Islamic. So I don't judge Islam based on what Muslims say and do. I judge Islam based on what the Quran says, right? And what the hadith says. Because even in Islam, it's acknowledged that you could be a Muslim that doesn't follow Islam. So, go right to the scripture. Batul is saying about hijab being mandatory, maybe it was about it being asked for in the religion itself and like obligated by the government. Yeah, but none of them addressed that question. They completely ignore what if they said like, oh, they disagree. And they kept on, wait, did they disagree or they agree? Yeah. They disagreed, but the people who somewhat agreed, they started talking about how great hijab is and what it's supposed to represent. And like, yeah, but the question was not whether it's a good or not. The question was, should it be mandatory and why? Yeah, Soha saying, yes, I did. It was 6 Christian, 1 atheist. Remember, I guessed correctly. Yeah, Soha guessed correctly, but based on his body language. Wow, maybe you were lucky, Soha. I don't think you could. I don't think you could do that based on body language. You were just lucky, unless you're a genius. Maybe you're a genius. I don't know, but I think somebody was suggesting that there's like one with just atheists. That would be interesting. Rational TV saying Hazrat Armin Navabi. Oh, thank you. Zainab saying which book of hadith regarding what? Bukhari. I'm referring to Bukhari and Muslim. Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. We even showed live on air. I demonstrated one of the hadiths that disproved all of them. Ronald is saying women are allowed to divorce their men, right? As long as they have their men's permission according to the scripture. Well, I mean, it's men divorcing their wives is a lot simple. You do the triple talaq thing, but women divorcing their men, it's allowed, but it's a lot more complicated, and they have to go through a lot more, loophole. They have to jump through a lot of more hoops to be able to do that. Like, so it's not equal. It's a lot more difficult for a woman to be able to get divorced from their husband, and they have to justify it. There needs to be a judge and all of that. But men, it's easy. You just like, I divorce you 3 times. Nobody. That's all you need. But to say, I mean, again, this is what's Islamic. How it's being done in Islamic countries is not necessarily the same way. Again, I judge based on the scripture, not based on what is happening in Islamic countries. Like, yeah, especially in more moderate ones like Tunisia, Malaysia, which is already still horrible. Here's the thing: even if your country, Islamic countries, are not 100% Islamic, which I mean, none of them are. Having Islam influence your politics even a little is toxic, right? So just because an Islamic country is not following Islam 100%, even if they're following it 1%, that's 1% too much. But you were saying they agreed on it being mandatory in their religion. They had to explain why God would ask women to wear it. It wasn't about government obligating it. Oh, I see, Batul. So they. Oh, okay. I misunderstood that because I thought by mandatory I meant enforced by. Thank you, Batul, for clarifying. Yeah, I missed that. Thank you, Batul. Rashid TV saying Armin Navabi, Harrison Tall, Ghalib Kamal, Abdullah Samir, and Gondol, Apostle Prophet, are doing great job. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go because I really need to pee. Sorry, I have to go. I want to spend some more time with you guys, but I have to go. There's another live stream coming soon. You could look at our channel on Twitch. You could look at the about page. There's a schedule there on Twitch to see when the next live stream is coming. Hold on, let me show you what the next live stream is. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can see right at the upcoming live streams. You can see, if you click on it, you can see it's coming up in 10 hours, and it's called Woke Dogma gets $10 million funding by Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey. So if you want to see the upcoming, so make sure you hit subscribe, and you also hit the notification bell. I'm going to also add a whole bunch of other new live streams here, schedule them, so you will be able to see them on our channel, what we're going to be discussing next, so you can decide which ones you want to join in live with us. Also, I'm going to do more Islam related stuff on Twitch. If you go to, where is it? Oh, here. You can see on the about page, there's a schedule. You can see when the next live streams are coming, right? Anyways, let me go here. Ethan saying, have a good night. Good night. Yeah, guys, love you all. No, don't love you all. I only love the people who have subscribed or are following on Twitch. Please subscribe here right now. It takes a half a second. And also hit the notification bell. Anyways, talk to you guys in less than 10 hours. Bye.